Welcome back to Red's View. Manchester United's preparations for this weekend's high-stakes clash against Chelsea at Old Trafford are well underway, with Ruben Amorim determined to guide his team back on track after recent setbacks. Following a recovery-based gym session on Wednesday, the squad returned to the pitches at Carrington on Thursday morning for an intense training program focused on sharpening both physical and tactical aspects of their game. The atmosphere at the training ground reflected the importance of the coming fixture. After a difficult derby defeat against Manchester City, Amorim and his staff sought to balance recovery with intensity, ensuring the players regained rhythm and focus. Thursday's session was designed not only to improve fitness levels, but also to reinforce key tactical instructions, with a strong emphasis on collective shape and pressing drills. The players began with dynamic warm-ups and small-sided games, designed to increase sharpness and quick decision-making under pressure. From there, the session moved into more structured phases of play. Amorim instructed the group through high-tempo possession exercises, encouraging movement between the lines and faster transitions from defense to attack. This was coupled with work on defensive organization, aimed at maintaining compactness and preventing the type of gaps that were exploited in the derby. Another important aspect of Thursday's work was set-piece preparation. The squad devoted time to both attacking and defending dead ball situations, a key area that Amorim believes could play a decisive role in Saturday's encounter. The training ground drills highlighted attention to detail, with emphasis on delivery, timing of runs, and second ball reactions. Conditioning also formed part of the program. Fitness coaches put the players through tailored exercises to build stamina and ensure peak performance heading into the weekend. While Wednesday's gym session allowed for recovery and strength maintenance, Thursday's on-pitch work restored the competitive edge needed for a demanding Premier League contest. As the session concluded, the mood at Carrington was described as both focused and determined. The coaching staff were pleased with the intensity on display and the commitment of the players to execute tactical instructions. With one more full training day scheduled before the clash with Chelsea, Amorim will be hoping that this blend of preparation, discipline, and renewed energy translates into a strong response under the Old Trafford lights. On the other side, Manchester United injury news and return date ahead of Chelsea clash. Manchester United are preparing for another crucial Premier League encounter this weekend as Ruben Amorim's side welcomes Chelsea to Old Trafford on Saturday evening. The Red Devils, who endured a bruising 3-0 defeat against Manchester City last time out, are keen to respond in front of their home supporters. However, Amorim continues to grapple with fitness concerns within his squad, with several key players still working their way back from injury. The manager has admitted that injuries have disrupted United's rhythm early in the season, with a number of senior players missing at critical moments. Cunha, Mason Mount, and Diogo Dalot are out for this game versus Manchester City. "I don't know how long it's going to take," Amorim said after the derby. "We need the guys to be a very, very competitive team. We have players who are eager, but they are out. They cannot help us in this game. We will manage day by day, but they are pushing really hard, and that is a good thing." With Chelsea set to visit Old Trafford, here is the latest on the United treatment room and possible return dates. Matheus Cunha. He injured hamstring. The Brazilian forward picked up a hamstring injury during United's dramatic 3-2 win over Burnley before the international break. His absence was keenly felt against City, with United lacking a focal point in attack. Amorim confirmed Cunha was unavailable for the derby, but hinted that his recovery is progressing well. There is optimism that he could make his return as early as Saturday's clash with Chelsea, though a late fitness test will likely determine his involvement. He expected to come back on September 20th, United versus Chelsea at Old Trafford. Next one is Lisandro Martinez. He have ACL injury. One of United's most influential defenders, Lisandro Martinez has been sidelined since February after suffering an anterior cruciate ligament, ACL injury. The Argentine has recently returned to training, which is a welcome boost for Amorim and his staff. But ACL recoveries typically require around 8 months before a player is deemed fully ready for competitive action. While his rehabilitation is progressing positively, there is no confirmed timeline for his return to the pitch. His potential returning date is unknown. Diogo Dalot, meanwhile, he injured a muscle. He was forced to withdraw from the Portugal squad during the recent international break after experiencing muscle discomfort. The fullback's absence was confirmed by the Portuguese Football Federation, raising concerns over his availability. However, his injury is not believed to be long-term, and there is cautious optimism that Dalot will be fit in time for the Chelsea game. His presence would provide a much-needed boost to United's defensive options. He expected to come back on September 20th, United versus Chelsea at Old Trafford. Mason Mount lastly, who have undisclosed issue. He was substituted at half-time during the Burnley win and subsequently missed the Manchester derby. While United have yet to provide a clear update on the exact nature of his issue, there are suggestions the midfielder is close to returning. Amorim will be hopeful Mount can rejoin the squad this week, though it remains unclear if he will be ready to feature against Chelsea. His potential returning date is unknown. However, the Chelsea fixture represents a critical moment in United's season. Victory could ease pressure on Amorim and inject much-needed confidence into the squad, while further setbacks may only increase the scrutiny surrounding his position. With Cunha and Dalot both pushing for late returns, Amorim may finally have more attacking and defensive options at his disposal. However, the continued absence of Martinez and uncertainty around Mount highlight the challenges United face as they look to stabilise their campaign on the different pages. The pressure on Manchester United manager Ruben Amorim has reached boiling point, with reports suggesting he has just 3 games to save his job. Following a shaky start to the campaign and a humiliating 3-0 defeat to rivals Manchester City, the club is now said to be preparing a contingency plan dubbed the International Reset. According to multiple reports, senior figures inside Old Trafford are already bracing for change, while several senior players within the squad are anticipating news of Amorim's dismissal in the coming weeks. United's current position in the Premier League is far from the expectations set at the start of the season. 4 points from 4 matches has left them lingering in the bottom half of the table, and the lack of progress on the pitch has alarmed both the hierarchy and the fan base. Sources indicate that the club is exploring the possibility of making a managerial change during the upcoming October international break, unless results improve drastically in the next run of fixtures. Behind the scenes, secret documents have reportedly been drawn up that outline the next steps should Amorim be relieved of his duties. These plans reflect United's determination not to be caught unprepared, especially after the chaotic handling of previous managerial transitions. The level of detail suggests that decision-makers are ready to act quickly if performances do not turn around. The reported shortlist of potential successors reads like a who's who of European coaching talent. High-profile names such as Zinedine Zidane, Unai Emery, Mauricio Pochettino, and England boss Gareth Southgate are believed to be under consideration. Each brings a distinct pedigree. Zidane with his Champions League triumphs at Real Madrid, Emery with his tactical nous and recent success at Aston Villa, and Pochettino's proven Premier League experience. Southgate, while a more surprising candidate, has admirers at board level for his ability to unify dressing rooms. In addition, emerging tacticians such as Andoni Iraola of Bournemouth and Marco Silva of Fulham are also reportedly on the radar. Iraola has impressed with his progressive style and ability to elevate limited squads, while Silva has shown resilience and adaptability in England's top flight. Interestingly, Oliver Glasner, who led Eintracht Frankfurt to European success, is another strong contender admired for his structured approach to football. What adds intrigue to the situation is the mention of Darren Fletcher, United's current technical director and club legend, as a possible interim or permanent replacement. Fletcher is highly respected within the club and is seen as someone who understands the identity and traditions of Manchester United. While his lack of senior managerial experience could count against him, his candidacy reflects United's openness to all options if a reset is required. The tension in the boardroom is said to be at an all-time high, with key figures divided over the best course of action. On one hand, there is recognition that Amorim has not been given much time to implement his philosophy. On the other, the club cannot afford another prolonged spell of mediocrity with such high stakes both financially and competitively. The looming fixtures against Chelsea and Liverpool may prove decisive in shaping Amorim's fate. For now, the message from Amorim is persistence. He has remained firm in his belief that his tactical approach is the right one, urging patience and pointing to underlying performance metrics that suggest his system is working in patches. However, as history has shown, numbers and philosophies often mean little at Manchester United when results on the pitch do not align with expectations. The next 3 games could define not only Amorim's tenure, but also United's entire trajectory for the season. Whether the board opts for the glamour of Zidane, the stability of Emery, the fresh energy of Iraola, or the trusted hands of Fletcher, one thing is certain: the pressure cooker at Old Trafford is close to exploding, and a reset may not be far away. Again and again, with speculation growing around who could step in should results fail to improve. A 3-0 defeat to Manchester City at the Etihad has left fans and pundits questioning not only United's direction, but also Amorim's insistence on sticking with his system. Despite growing criticism, the Portuguese coach remains confident that tactical tweaks are not the solution, stressing after the derby that the system is not the problem. Yet patience at Old Trafford is notoriously short, and with United languishing in the bottom half of the Premier League table with just 4 points from 4 games, names of possible successors are already being floated. Among them, Zinedine Zidane remains a dream appointment for some. The Frenchman, a legend as a player and a 3-time Champions League winning coach with Real Madrid, has long been admired from afar by Manchester United. According to reports, Zidane once identified 4 signings he would have made had he ever been given the Old Trafford hot seat. For fans craving instant pedigree, his name inevitably resurfaces whenever United are in crisis. Former Premier League striker Charlie Austin has been one of the voices suggesting a drastic change. Speaking recently, he argued that United should go after Zidane if Amorim is dismissed, though he admitted there are doubts over whether the French icon is the right fit. Interestingly, Austin also put forward the unlikely but intriguing name of Sean Dyche, praising the Everton boss for his ability to stabilise struggling clubs. For Austin, United needs structure above all else, and Dyche represents the kind of pragmatic manager who can provide it. However, another line of thought is emerging, one that shifts the focus from decorated names of the past to progressive coaches of the present. Step forward, Andoni Iraola. The Bournemouth manager has quietly built a reputation as one of the best young coaches in Europe. Dubbed the best young coach in the world in some circles, Iraola's work on the South Coast has been nothing short of transformative. After a rocky start to his Premier League tenure, where Bournemouth went 9 games without a win, his philosophy eventually clicked. Since then, his team has played bold, energetic football, securing a mid-table finish last season, and now sitting remarkably in 4th place, early in the current campaign. Iraola's rise is especially impressive given the scale of his resources compared to top-flight giants. His ability to mould players such as Justin Kluivert, Milos Kerkez, Alex Scott, Dean Huijsen, and Evanilson into a cohesive, upwardly mobile unit has caught the attention of bigger clubs. His Bournemouth side even faced Amorim's United in pre-season, a 4-1 win for the Red Devils that now looks like a distant memory given the contrasting fortunes of the two clubs since then. For United, the dilemma is clear. Zidane represents glamour, prestige, and instant respect in the dressing room. Dyche offers stability, grit, and a back-to-basics approach. Iraola, meanwhile, embodies modern tactical evolution and the ability to build a long-term project, something United have desperately lacked in recent years. Amorim's fate will largely hinge on the next run of games, particularly the upcoming clash with Chelsea, and then a daunting fixture against Liverpool. A win against Chelsea could relieve pressure and buy him valuable time to prove his system can work in the Premier League. But failure may see United's hierarchy forced to choose between short-term shock therapy and long-term vision, whether that means Zidane, Dyche, or Iraola stepping into one of football's most scrutinized jobs.